Hello, hi, I'm Jerry Tukoski. Thank you for joining me on a very impromptu scope for video marketing. Today I'm going to do an unboxing, and I think fairly unusual unboxing. I was actually cleaning up the place, and we're just trying to get some room in this place again. And I uncovered something I haven't seen for so many years. It's this little box here, and when I opened it up, lots of memories. Lots of memories, and here it is. My very first, well, it's not a video camera, it's actually a film camera, my very first film camera. It's a Canon Zoom 8, and the 8 stands for 8mm, so it was a standard 8 before the Super 8 started, but there it is there. I'm going to go through it and share it with you, some of the features, just so you can compare it to today's cameras, but that's my very first one. And it's probably, I've had a look for dates for it, it's probably 1959, perhaps 1960, so even before my time, so that's how old it is. But it's a little beauty, and it still works. I'm just going to share some ideas with you. Now, it originally sold, for I did a bit of research, and originally sold for 48,000 yen, which is about 400 US dollars. So that's when it came out back in probably 1959, 1960, which would have been a lot of money in those days. Considering for $400 you can buy a pretty good digital camera today. But that's the first one I ever had. Since then, I've of course moved on to a little smaller Canon there. I had a mini DVD Sony camera. Today I use, this is a Canon XA20. So it's about, well, roughly about the same size. You can see that it's roughly the same size, but this is so light. This is the Canon XA20. It's so light to use, brilliant little camera, and this is solid. This is absolute solid. You can bang your head across it, and but why would you do that? I don't know. Just thought I might say that. But this is absolute solid. Yeah, it's not going to break. It's been around for so long. Now I remember buying this from a schoolmate of mine. I don't know, I probably spent $100. I bought it, and you know what? He used that money to buy a brand new Super 8 camera with sound. This hasn't got sound, but he bought a camera with sound. So I feel a little bit ripped off because I got this old camera, which by then, was pretty old. It was over 10, 20 years old already when I purchased it. But anyway, that was my very first film camera. So let's have a quick tour of this camera, right? Now, on the side here, you'll notice something unusual. It's a cranker dial. And what you do, you wind it up because it's got no batteries. No batteries. You don't have to worry about batteries. You don't have to worry about recharging. So you just crank it up, like those old cars used to crank up. And you crank it right up, and it probably gives you probably about 30 seconds or something like that to film. So you crank it up, and then off you film away. Now you can appreciate it's pretty noisy, and just as well that it's a silent film, because you just hear that cranky throughout the whole thing. So there's no sound to it. What we used to do, we used to film it with the guys at school. We used to get together and film it, and then we edit the film, like real splicing the film together with glue, and then we'd run it on a projector. And when the film was running on projector, we'd get the microphone, we'd hand the microphone, we'd say our dialogue, like la la la. It's like dubbing film, It was as bad dubbing as you possibly get. So the lips are moving like that, and the voices are not even matching close to the lip movement. But it was a lot of fun, and we made these movies, and we made a whole heap of movies. I really enjoyed it. Just loved making the whole thing. But that was the process. So there's no sound, and except the battery. So each scene could no longer be 20 or 30 seconds until this would run out, and then you have to re-crank it and do another scene. So a lot of really short scenes, but a lot of fun. It's all good fun. Now up here also you'll notice a film speed, which is you know, standard is about 16, but you can get down to 8 frames per second up to 64 frames per second. So if you wanted to do like real slow motion, you crank it up to about 64 frames per second. So when you run it, it just runs slower because you're just running a normal 24 frames per second. Then again, if you want really fast super speed, like Benny Hill stuff, you'd put on you'd film it on 8 frames per second, and so when you run it, it just runs really fast. It would just okay, you get the idea. Now that's pretty cool. So you can control the film speed from there, and as I said, there's a battery. Now, if we go in the back of the camera, there's the viewfinder. The viewfinder. And man, that is so small. That is so small. That's incredible. But that was your viewfinder. There's no digital sort of screen you can watch, LCD screen there. That's a viewfinder. And over there is a film gauge that tells you how much film you got left in the camera. So you used to look at that very carefully and you say, oh geez, we only got a little bit. We'll have to do a very short film. Particularly if you were trying to make a movie in one film roll, that sort of dictated just how quickly you had to move. If we move to this side here, we've got a film compartment. Open that up. And there's film. You actually put your film spool in there. You fill up the top, and at the bottom would pick up that spool. So it just runs there. I think maybe many of you will never have ever seen that before. The thing is, they won't close now. The thing is that, yep, get back in there. Get back in there, son. Okay, there we go. The incredible thing, of course, is that when you use film like this, you can't look back at the replay and make sure you've done it right. You have to trust. Yeah, that's why the skills were far more important to have good skills there in filming, because you didn't want to make a mistake and then pick up the film, have it develop it, pick it up, and then seeing that it's a big mess. So making sure you get it right the first time was very, very important. Now up here is the aperture. So it goes from f1.4 to f22. So that's the aperture. So aperture basically opens and closes the lens there to allow more light in. So at a bigger, 1.4 means that it's quite open. So it's allowing a lot of light into the shutter, and what it means is that you're getting when the shutter opens, you get more light coming through. You have a smaller depth of field, so that's when you get a nice focus, something in the foreground, and the background is out of focus. So that's how you can control the depth of field. Now, if the smaller aperture of, say, the f22 means there's less light coming in, and so basically less light coming in, so it increases your depth of field. So therefore, everything is in focus, so you don't have that shallow depth of field. Okay, now this one over here, this little thing here, that's the zoom. So it goes from 10 to 40, so it's 4 times the zoom. So just nice and easy. There's nothing electronic about it. You just do it very manually, so you can zoom in and zoom out. And the front part here is a focus. So it's a focus. So you focus, and basically you get 2 horizontal pictures, and when you focus, they come together. So that's when you know they're focused. When the line in the middle, just they join up, those 2 images join up perfectly, then you know the image is totally focused. So it's pretty cool. So that's it. Oh yeah, I forgot this part here. This is now that gives you a continuous frame, but if you just flick it over to 1, you can flick it over to 1 at the top here. There. So I flicked it on 1 frame, so it will just shoot 1 frame per, well, that's it, just the 1 frame. Now that's really cool for animation. And I remember doing lots of animation films. My favourite one was the glass of milk. So when I came home from school, Mum would give me a glass of milk, and I'd get the camera out, and I'd shoot, get one frame, take a sip, another frame, shoot, shoot, shoot. And of course, when you play it back, then you just see this milk going down. So that was really cool. Yeah, yeah, life was simple then, right? So that's the unboxing of the amazing Canon Zoom 8. It's probably worth, I don't know, maybe $100 now. Maybe worth more, I don't know. I really don't know. But I haven't seen it for so many years, and I reckon it still works. I've just got to find film for it. If I can find 8mm film, I'll give it a try. If I can find it, I don't know where I can find it, but if I can find it, I'll put it in there and I'll take some footage and I'll show you what it looks like, because it'd look awesome. But there it is, the Canon Zoom 8. It's now on sale at any good camera store. If you're lucky, you can find it. You might find your own copy on eBay. As I said, it might be $100, depending on the quality of it, how good it works. But this one should work fine. I haven't used it for years, but it's been buried away in all my stuff, and it's just good fun to find it again. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the scope. It's been really good fun. You can join me on www.vimico.com.au. My name's Jerry Tukoski from Vimico. Lots of fun. I'm planning to do these scopes this time each week, so please join me. I'm looking forward to catching up with you soon. All right, bye for now.